Alexis, and you are welcome back to The Real Ish. You know, here we do it like nobody else does it. And today I'm about to give you all the tips and tricks on how to secure your US visa under 1 minute. Trust me, 1 minute. Let's just get right into the video. I'm going to try my very best to make this video a very short one for you. So I have grouped certain things that I'm about to talk about. So the first one is the documents you need before going to the embassy. First, you need your valid passport. Make sure that it's not going to expire in the next 6 months. Then you need your form DS-160. This is a form that you fill online about everything about you. You make sure that you say the truth in that form DS-160. Whatever your story is should be in that form DS-160. Thirdly, you will need 2 photographs. Make sure that when you go to the place to take your photograph, you tell them that you want it to be the US passport size. That is the recommended one. Then you will need a receipt of your visa form. So the visa form that you go and buy at the bank, make sure that you don't throw that receipt away because you will need it at the embassy. Then you need your I-20. Make sure that your I-20 doesn't it's valid for like in the next 3 months or something. You get what I'm trying to say? Make sure that your I-20 is not like it was like 6 months ago or so. They might not take it, trust me. Yes, so make sure that your I-20 is good. Then you need all educational documents. The all educational documents here means that, let's say, your certificates that you maybe completed high school, or you have a degree, or maybe you want something and you want to add to it. It's part of your story. Make sure that you add those certificates into your file. After you've gotten all these documents aside, now you need to prepare what you are going to say. If you remember, I've been talking about your story. First of all, before you even go to the interview, put this in mind that the main essence of the interview is that you are going to prove to them that you are not a potential immigrant, because they are saying that all of us are potential immigrants. So you are going to prove to the consular that you are not a potential immigrant. So how are you going to do this? So I'll be using my story or whatever I went to the embassy to say as a format to prove myself that I am not a potential immigrant. So like, just follow. So immediately I stood on the podium, I was asked why WASH. And I said that WASH, because of the many opportunities it offers to students offering government and foreign affairs. So in this case, I have linked my school to my course that I'm going to study. So it's not really like, let's say I just want to go outside the country, but it is because of the course I'm going to study. I didn't choose WASH because WASH is in the United States or whatever, but it's because of the course that I'm going to study. So in this case, I've even taken his mind off certain things. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yes. I didn't end there. I proceeded by saying that WASH gives its students the opportunity to offer a 4+1 course. It's a 5 years program, which is like 4+1. So you have your master's together with what's your undergraduate. So you don't need to go for a 4-year program, then later on you go and then apply for a 2-year master. So you have all in one, of which it will help me save money and all that. And that's one very reason why I chose WASH. So I told them all this in addition to what I already said, that WASH offers opportunities to, like, you get it. So after telling them that WASH offers opportunities to its students, I added that, which includes this 4+1 program that they mainly do, and other universities don't do that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Also, government and foreign affairs is like one course that is not really offered in Ghana. I don't know any university that offers that course in Ghana. So it was something that was really good for me that I was able to add. And then, like, also, like she said, their minds off it that it's just because I wanted to come to the US or something. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So make sure that you know your story, plan it out very well, know what you want to say, know how you want to say it. Don't let it look as if like you are trying to bring something out of your mind. No, know your story. So I urge you all that the first thing is that you script your story and know what you are going to say. Secondly, when he asked me the question and as I was talking, he wasn't looking at me. He was typing something down there and he was just looking at the screens. So everything I was saying, he wasn't looking at me. He was just looking on the screen and he was typing and I kept talking. But what I noticed was that once in a while he looked at me and I never for once took my eyes off him. He looks at me once in a while when he types, then he looks, when he types, then he looks. I never for once shifted my eyes off him. And that made me realize something, that all they use is psychology. It gets to a point that they're not really listening to what you are saying, but then they are actually looking again to see if you are saying the truth. How would they know if you are saying the truth? When you look directly into their eyes, it shows that you are saying the truth and you are not like, because sometimes most of the time when people are telling lies, they cannot really look you into the eye to tell you that lie. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So you need to make sure that what you are looking at them, even if they are not doing anything, don't fidget, just look eyeball to eyeball with them, because they are using psychology here. And when you fidget or you look about, they feel like, okay, she's not feeling comfortable, so she's telling a lie or he's telling a lie. So I'll urge you that you should look eyeball to eyeball to the counselor. That's another trick. So now the second question he asked me was that, have I been to the US before? I said no, because I have not had any reason to. Mostly people just say no, and that is one thing that I've realized, that people just say no and then they expect that you be like, okay, no, then that's all. Like, you've not said anything. No, because you've not had any reason to. Do you get it? Meaning, if you had a reason to, you would have gone. What is the reason to today is because of your education. So like, you are just telling him that I wouldn't even go if it was not because of my education. It's not that I want to go there or something. You get it? So in other words, you're making him feel like, okay, she's not had any reason to, he's not had any reason to or anything. So you're clearly telling him that it is because of your education. That is why what you are going to the US. That clears a lot of doubts from his mind and makes you a non-potential immigrant. Do you hear what I'm trying to say? The third question that he asked me that I felt like he thought I was going to slack here and then maybe pull me out was that he asked me that, so what are your plans after studies? And with all these things that I'm telling you, it's not like maybe on the spot thinking and I said everything. If I had on the spot thought about it, I would have fumbled a bit with what I would say. But it was something that I had scripted. All the questions, I just went on YouTube, listened to everybody's story, their questions, because the questions they ask are always the same. It's just that they might ask someone all the 5, they might ask you 2 or 3 of it. You get it? All the questions are the same. Definitely you get it when a counselor will ask you why your school, why you chose the state, have you been to the US before? It's one question that they always ask. The counselor asks you the occupation of your parents, who is sponsoring you. Sometimes the counselor will just be on the sponsoring parts, especially if maybe he doubts something about your sponsor or something. Yes, the questions are either about your school, about yourself, or about like your sponsor. Like, that's all. That's mainly the questions that they ask. And one other thing is that most of the questions that they ask you after asking the main big questions are from the DS 160 that you failed at. Yes. So that is why I kept saying that the DS 160, you should know what is in it. Your story and everything that you are going to say should come from the DS 160. If you wrote that your sponsor is your dad in the DS 160, don't come to the consular and tell him that your uncle is the sponsor, or else that is it for you. He might not ask you any question again and just deny you. Make sure that you know your DS 160 offhand. If someone is the one filling your DS 160 for you, after the person fills it for you or whatever, take time, go through it about 3 times before now you form your story and then know what you are going to say. So back to the question where he asked me that, what are my plans after studies? I told him that after school here, I plan to come back to Ghana and then go to law school in Ghana so that I can practice law in my country. And with the skills that I've learned from the US, And like me being someone who went to the US to have my undergraduate studies plus my master's, I would be ahead of my peers in the country, and it's going to set me ahead of other people too. And no, I'm going to make my career a very easier one. Yes, and I told him all this. So right after that, he just said, I'm going to approve you of your visa. And he gave me a white slip. So in this case, I have strengthened my home ties so much because one, I have told him that I'm going to come back to Ghana. That's just a saying that he's been hearing all these while. People have been saying it. So I didn't just end it there that I'll go back to Ghana. But then I said, what? I'll go back to Ghana, go to law school. Why would I go to law school? Because I want to be a practicing lawyer in the country. Like, what is the essence of me going to school in the US and then like coming back to go to law school in Ghana, you know? I want to what, be ahead of my peers. And it's true. We can just, it's just so clear that if someone goes to school outside the country, definitely when the person comes back to Africa or wherever, their certificate is going to speak better. Like it's normal. This is just a clear example that I can give. So with this person understands me that okay, this girl is ambitious, she wants to do this for herself, she wants to do that for herself. So that is basically the reason why what she's coming to the US to study and then what go back to her country just because she wants to be what ahead of her peers or something. So in this case, I have strengthened my home ties so much. I'm lucky that I wasn't asked about my sponsor or something, you know. Maybe I would have to see a lot of things about my sponsor and all. But you might be asked what's like your sponsor, your uncle, or whatever. You should know who your sponsor is by heart, his workplace, whatever he does. Just know that. I forgot to add something in the documents that you are supposed to bring. Just make sure that you have your bank statement. It is one important one because most people are denied because they do not have their bank statement. So if you are watching this video, I hope it helps you so much, and I pray that you are going to come back with a congratulations. Yes, so subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and just let me know what you think in the comments. You can ask your questions or whatever, and I'll be glad to answer or reply. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for your support. Like and share to other people who are going for their visa interviews as well. I'll see you guys later. Bye.